Hi, I'm Ken Carson with Xybix, and today we are with Steve Gordon here. He's the director of the Saratoga County, New York Sheriff's Office, and they're in a new building, a new dispatch center. And I'm just going to ask a few questions. And so my first question is, when did you move into here?
We've been here about a year, long time in the planning, but a year ago we were really excited to call this our new home.
Okay, so let's work me back that long time ago, because I want some of the people watching this that are same stage you were in, 4 or 5 years ago or whatever. What would you suggest to them when they know they have the opportunity to get a new building, a new, totally new room for their 911 people? What would you recommend them to do?
I think first and foremost, you need to make sure you don't put yourself in a box and think of just what our operations are today. You really need to make sure that you're looking 20, 25, maybe 30 years and go into the project with that type of mindset of what are you going to leave behind after you, and make sure that you try to have that in your plans to start.
Okay. So you guys started this in 17, you think, or a little earlier than that?
Yeah, probably somewhere 2016, 2017, we started having some discussions. They went out, looked at architects. One of the important things for whoever is running this project is to make sure that it's architects that have some public safety building experience. On top of that, as everybody probably knows in this industry, a PSAP is much different than an EMS or fire station. So you really want to make sure you ask those type of architects. Have they built PSAPs before? What was the size? Things of that nature.
Yeah, and I'm talking to you earlier, you had some kind of friendly battles with the architect over a few things. So what would you recommend to somebody how to handle that stuff? So the architect puts something in the room or doesn't put something in the room, you're looking at the plans, and wait, I need this, or what's that? I don't need that. So how do you handle that, the architect, so you make sure it works out in the end for you?
I think really a two-phase approach. First thing, you have to make sure that whoever the leaders of the project or the people funding the project, they have to understand exactly what is being done in the PSAP so they can appreciate some of the costs that are involved with a new PSAP. Second thing is you want to make sure you identify and get your vendors on board very early on. So when you do need a subject matter expert to come in and speak, the vendors are comfortable coming and helping you advocate to those people about why certain things need to be certain ways.
Okay. So how many stations do you have in here, and how do you staff them and all that, just so people, we get a feel of what you've got going on here?
So we have 14 fully functional positions with the ability to add 8 more if we need to. That goes back to what I was talking about thinking 20, 25, maybe 30 years down the line. Our day shift typically is the busiest shift, where we run the most staff. There are some days that there are 10 people here. Afternoons, we drop down a person or two. Midnights is our lowest shift. We never have less than 5 people here on a given day.
So Saratoga County, what kind of special events do you have in your county that you need to staff up for?
So Saratoga County, in the summer particularly, is a very heavily driven tourist town. We host the Saratoga Springs Racetrack, which literally brings people and horses from all over the world to come here and race. We also have a large state park that brings in a lot of concerts and things like that. So on a given day in the summer, our normal population is about 225,000 here year round, but there are certain days in the summer where that population will actually double, over 400,000 people if we have a concert, the track running, or other events here in the county those particular days. So we would definitely increase our staffing on those days.
Okay. So taking that into mind, your layout, and this is another cool layout, and I've been seeing some unique layouts in the past year and a half. Tell me your thought process in this, because maybe see behind us here, but you've got your supervisors in the middle, which I think makes great sense. So tell me about your guys' thought process in that, and then also who's involved in picking the layout.
So we wanted to go with like a modular pod type setup initially that would allow our supervisors to be in the middle, give them a little bit of privacy and autonomy for some of the things that they need to do, but also make sure that they were integrated in the various areas. We're dispatch law, fire, and police here. So we wanted to have 3 separate, per se, pods that could handle that, along with some call taking areas. Again, this was all designed prior to COVID. Once COVID hit, we realized that we necessarily needed the ability to spread people out. So this has been a very good design to help doing with that. And what we thought was maybe going to be a very short period rather, has turned into a long duration where we work hard every day to try to get some people spread out and away from each other for those COVID precautions.
Yeah. So you worked with, you got to work with two of the Xybix account managers. You got to work with Heather Brown and then Suzanne Lottie. So tell us what they brought to the table to help you out with this whole process.
They were great to work with, along with the design team, which was really nice, is that we could reach out to our account rep. A lot of things that would sometimes happen with the architect, or even once construction had started, was something would come up and they would need an answer, per se yesterday, because it involved a question for the electrician or things like that. So that was really good for us to be able to get that type of quick feedback right away and get the answers that we needed.
Okay. So then why Xybix in general? You guys had our furniture in your previous room. I wouldn't call it a building, your previous room. So what was the driving factor to go with Xybix again?
I think initially having Heather and Suzanne come out and meet with us just really as follow-up to how things were going as they were kind of touring the area of what they had, and we started talking about this project. And it seemed like they were really anxious to help us again. And Xybix is a really strong partner here in New York State with a lot of PSAPs, have a very good reputation. So we wanted to continue that partnership.
I always like hearing those things. That's great. When Suzanne came to you and told you we're going to do this recruitment video while we're shooting this video also, what'd you think of that? A free recruitment video. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, I think that was great. I think the fact that an owner of the company would take some time to come out and spend days and talk to the folks here is really important. It just shows your level of commitment to the company and to your partners. And this is definitely a tool for us. 911 communications is a lot of times an afterthought in a lot of places. So I think this recruitment video will really be a good tool for us going forward. So we really appreciate that.
Great, good to hear. So we pulled up, today was a perfect day, a little bit of clouds, the sun's out, perfect temperature, it's starting to be fall. You guys got a great, gorgeous building. You guys did fantastic. I think it just looks so good. But I saw you have, it's dedicated to Paul Lent, and tell me the story how that happened.
So Paul spent many years here as our director of the Office of Emergency Services, and had always had a vision for creating some type of joint public safety building. Mm-hmm. Ended up retiring from the county and being elected town supervisor, and was able to, at the Board of Supervisors level, really fight to get this building up and moving forward, and was very instrumental in doing that. Unfortunately, he was involved in a tragic accident on his farm and passed away prior to even groundbreaking here. So appropriately, the building was named in his honor.
Yeah, it's great you guys could do that. So what are the features on the Xybix furniture that your people just love? Right now I notice you've got 7 people on the floor or whatever, and like half of them are standing. So obviously that's a cool feature, but what's their favorite features, you think?
I really think that it's a combination of all the features that allow them to be just comfortable. They spend so much time here, sometimes 16 hours a day. Yeah. And really some days more time here than they're spending in their homes doing a high-stress job. So it's really important that they be comfortable. So we have some that like to be able to keep the monitors a little lower, have the lights dimmed down, but use the backlighting on their console. We have others that prefer to stand up most of the days, push the monitors back. And I think they like the climate system, just to be able to, if they're a little chilly that day, they put their heaters on, or if they're a little bit excited or ramped up about something, maybe put those fans on. So I think those are all really important features. But overall, you want to make sure that the people that are here every day are comfortable.
So for other directors, what are the top 3 things would you recommend for them when they have this opportunity to design a new center?
I think first and foremost, you want to make sure you have the buy-in of the people that are controlling the budget, and make sure they understand exactly what goes on in this room and exactly why the costs are associated with it that are, so to make sure you get good quality products the first time and you don't end up having to go back. Second thing is make sure that the people you're dealing with have experience building a PSAP. And then I would say third, make sure you have good partnerships with your vendors and you make sure you get good feedback from the folks that are working in here day in and day out.
Thank you for your time here. We appreciate your business from
thank
Xybix
you.
very
Appreciate
much.
you coming out. Hope you enjoyed your
Beautiful
time.
center. I mean, and I just fell in love with Saratoga Springs here. Great part of the world. I mean, it's fantastic. So you guys did great.
Great.